Any questions from anywhere? We are all ears, so you can put up your questions, guys. Anything which you want to talk about? So yeah, in this stream we're going to cover the remaining topics of remaining functionalities of series strings. So we have covered I think 3 to 4 in the previous one. We're going to finish the remaining I think 6 to 8 functionalities on strings. So we're going to do that. And quickly as we finish that, we're going to jump towards our exercises. So exercises, you remember, so we did some few exercises yesterday. So on the similar lines, we'll be doing some exercises today also. Okay. So meanwhile, any questions, guys? Please feel free to put up your questions. Meanwhile, we're waiting for people to join in. We're going to wait for I think 1 or 2 more minutes to let people join in for the day. Right. So yeah, as I've told you, this stream gonna be focusing on the remaining strings concept, the strings functionalities, right? So we're gonna cover some good functionalities on strings, on string streams, and then we're gonna do that. And meanwhile, if you have any questions, guys, please feel free to put up your questions. And also, what we can do is we can we'll be going towards the exercises. So we'll cover the exercises as well. Okay, Dilip says, can you please share the Pandas tutorial notes? Huh? I can do that. No, should not be a problem. Please connect with me on LinkedIn once. So I'll try to see what how can I share that. So please connect with me on LinkedIn for that. So we'll talk separately on this. But again, my see again these notebooks which I have, right? So I keep on editing every day because I have to come for the lecture prepared, right? So I keep on preparing the notes every other day. So I update it every day. So that's how I do it. So I would rather I mean if you want to take it right now, and it should not be of much issue to me. But again, it's always good that once we finish completely on Pandas, then I'll just close this notebook. Then I won't be editing it further. So I think then in that case it will be helpful. But again, your choice. Please connect with me on LinkedIn so we can talk separately on this. Any other questions, guys? Anything which you want to talk about? Please do let me know. Right. So I think let's start. Let's quickly start. So because we have to cover the aspects as well. So we'll just start. And meanwhile, guys, if you have any questions, please put up your questions on the chat. I'm trying to monitor it the best I can. But if I still miss out something, stay tuned. I'll be definitely coming back to you. Cool, guys. Right. So as you know, my name is Arpit Jain, and I'm a senior data scientist myself. And I have 8+ years of industry experience, and I am a motivational speaker myself. Right. So if you have any questions regarding your data science journey, anything which you want to talk about, how to prepare for data science and how to enter a field, I don't have a relevant experience, what skill sets to prefer, what job roles to apply, what salary to be expected. So anything, right? Any questions if you have, please put up your questions, and then we can talk. Maybe if you're comfortable offline, we can do that, or in the forum also. I'm totally fine. So but again, do not hesitate to talk, guys. Trust me, talking and like asking your queries, it's not that simple. The only reason for me telling you all the time to keep on asking the queries, the reason is asking question is not easy. Okay. Yeah, putting up a comment to someone is very easy, that because then you're doing it out of fun or doing it out of maybe I don't know what emotion. But again, asking question, it takes courage, because the thing is, first of all, you're accepting that you do not know it. Okay, and then the second thing is you're willing to learn it. So then is the only way you'll be putting up the questions, right? And trust me, it's not an easy thing to ask question. It's always trickier to ask questions. right? So it takes courage to ask questions. So always remember, if you won't talk, you will never understand. Okay, so do not make it as a one-way communication. Always try to ask as many questions as you can. So in that way, you only will be benefiting, right? Cool. Anyway, so that's how I'll try to make up the sessions. And if you have any questions, yeah, I always try to take that up, right? Right. And regarding your data science journey, I'll tell you, Python is one of the very important key skill set. It's a mandatory skill set, right? So almost, I would say 80-90% of the organizations wherever the data science work is going on, right, the developmental efforts is on Python only. I wouldn't say for all the organizations, but I would say at least 80% of organizations are doing the data science development on Python. So you can just imagine how important Python is. Okay, so Python is one of the mandatory skill sets for you to become a data scientist. Okay, it's a mandatory skill set, and you have to be good in it. And that's why we have started with Python. Okay, so Python, we have covered few good functionalities, functions, we covered lambda functions, and then we were talking some data science functionalities of Python, right? So we were talking about pandas, so we did something on pandas, and we want to subsequently cover some other topics as well, likewise on something on what to say, NumPy, scikit-learn, a lot of other things, guys. So we're gonna cover them subsequently. We're gonna do that. Cool. So yeah, as per the course, we have PySpark, SQL, and Tableau as well. So we're gonna take it as time comes. So we're gonna do that. So do not worry. Okay. So now you have a code right in front of your screen, guys. Python 10. So with this, you can get a 10% off on your Unacademy Pro subscription, right? So with this, you'll be getting a 10% off. So now yeah, as you know, so there's a time for quick promotion, guys. Please bear with me with this, it's mandatory, right? So now the important thing to note is why exactly you need a pro subscription, right? So a lot of questions like why I should be paying something when I'm watching something for free, right? So what benefit, right? So there are a lot of benefits of career as a developer subscription or your pro subscription in an academy platform, right? So it is basically for those who wants to become a developer, like a software developer, or in that sense even the data scientists are developers, because they are developing the model, they're developing the applications. In that sense, I would say yes, so they are the developers as well, right? So they are developing data science applications, right? So that's where I believe it's applicable for all of those who wants to become a developer, and maybe who have just become a developer, right? So an academy does bring you a platform where you can watch multiple shows live. Okay, and live, you can understand the benefit of being live. So live does give you a flexibility of talking to the people who are taking up the sessions live directly, and you can get your queries responded, right? So that's, I think, one of the very big plus, right? And some of the good shows, I'll just brief about some of the good shows which are going live on the Unacademy platforms are like the hiring updates on the big companies or the startups or the tech companies, right? So you'll get an update from wherever there is a new hiring going on, right? So there's a one place stop where you can get an update from which organization is hiring when, on what position, how many vacancies are there, right? So the timings of your application also becomes very important, you know that, right? So because if you won't apply to that application on the right time, somebody else will take that job, so it won't go empty, right? So some or the other person will be recruited for that, right? So the timings are also very important, and then what job role, how many positions, what is the skill sets required, their eligibility criteria, percentages, and all that, right? So all these details are very much important when you go for your hiring processes, right? And this is the one place stop for you guys where you can get all the updates from the upcoming recruitment, from being a startup or a tech startup or an IT company or an MNC, big companies, all you will get in a bit of a single place. So this is going to be the game changer for you, trust me on that. Right, and then on top of this, we have something called as how to approach Code Chef. So this is again a very good show which is going live, guys. I'll talk about that in one of the subsequent slides. But again, very good show where you can understand the do's and the don'ts of the Code Chef. You know what is Code Chef, right? So Code Chef is basically now these days is one of the barriers for you to enter into a data science field, right? So this becomes very important to know the do's and the don'ts, right? So you have the right kind of skill sets within you to be part of to crack the code chef round. So this one of it, and then for this you need to know what questions to prepare, how to prepare, from where to prepare, what difficulty level of questions are asked. So a lot of questions, guys. I know a lot of questions, so you can get your queries responded. Okay, so there's no issue in that. So this is the place for you where you can get your queries responded. And then you have something called as a pre-placement talks. Okay, so the pre-placement talks where the right person, the point of contacts from the organizations, they come directly and they talk to you. So these are the HRs, the recruiters from the companies. They come and they talk about their company. They talk about the company's profile, the company's vision, what exactly they are looking for, how many positions, what roles. So all of the things regarding your I would say a particular company's portfolio, they'll be sharing the details on, and this is the right place for you guys, so you can get a fair understanding of what to expect from the organization, whether you'll be fitting in, how you'll be benefiting from the organization. It's because it's not always the company selecting you, it's also you selecting the company, right? So that becomes very important. So that's how we're gonna take that, right? So that's how it is. So we're gonna do it that way. So you have the pre-placement talks. So, and then again, the very important part of these talks are they'll be talking about the hiring processes also. So because every organization has different set of hiring processes, right? So some organization would be having multiple technical rounds, coding round, online technical round, spot coding, group discussions, HRs, lot of rounds, right? So this is a place where you can get the queries responded of what all what is the hiring process comprising of, what all rounds, how you can be better prepared. So it gives you a freedom. It gives you I would say a preparation step to be part of, to be well prepared before the interviews. I would say that's again a good place. You can get the right details from these people actually. Cool. And then we have something called as the most frequently asked questions. So there are a few questions, behavioral, technical. These are most frequently asked. So I'm a recruiter myself, so I know there are certain set of questions which are most frequently asked, right? So yeah, you can get your tailored made responses based on your profile. So tailored made responses, for example, for any questions, right? And that's going to benefit you for your candidature, right? So if you have certain pointers handy with you, right, when you go for the interview, it always helps you, right? So to talk. So if you have the right pointers, you can frame up your sentences, but you have the right content to talk to, right? So that's something which is very important. So you can get your tailored made responses based on your own profile. So the mentor who's going to take up the sessions, you can get the responses from them, and then you can get your the bullet pointers handy with you based on your profile. Cool. And then definitely we have something called as the live problem solving, or where we'll be doing a real life project. Okay, so real life projects, so it's again very good. So it's the place for your hands-on, right? So you will be doing the hands-on, and there will be a mentor working with you working along with you for the hands-on, right? So this is a place where you can get the queries responded at the same time. So if you have any questions anywhere you are stuck, you can get it responded at the same time. You're not supposed to do any forum post and then expect a reply in 24 hours and all that. So same time, same moment, you can get the queries responded. Very, very good plus, guys. It always has a benefit. Know that. Right. And yeah, so and then definitely we have something called as the life journey from the fellow coders. So the fellow coders from the big companies or even the startups, they come and they talk to you, right? So these fellow coders would be from the big companies like Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, Google. So the FANG companies, the lists, right? So if you want to be the part of such organizations, it's always good to be mentally prepared, and I would say technically prepared, right? So it's always good that you have the right set of knowledge, you have the right set of skill sets, so that you can be prepared. You can be better prepared for being part of such big companies, right? So you can do that. So you can have a freedom to talk to these guys, right? And on top of all this, you will be going through an online mock interview, guys. Mock interviews, this, how important it is. So mock interviews will be done by the industry experts, okay? And then this gonna benefit you for your feedbacks, right? So if you have done something, if you feel that you have done everything right, still there might be chance that you are not getting selected, right? So in that sense, in that scenarios, the third person opinion is very important. So the feedback is very important. So they'll give you the improvement areas. So if you do not know your improvement areas, you'll never improve, right? Because you do not know what to improve on. So this is a place, guys, where you can talk and we can get the fair feedback, and then you can definitely update on the improvement areas. And for all this, you have to pay the nominal fee, which is of $999 for a year. And with the code right in front of your screen, which is Python 10, you can get it for 10% off for $899. Cool. One of the good shows which is going live, guys, every Friday night at 10 p.m. Okay, and is taken care by Mr. Raj Vikramaditya, and he is doing the college projects review. Okay, so college projects review is again a very, very good thing, guys. So the thing is, if you want your own college projects to be reviewed, and if you want your college projects to tick all the right boxes, and if you want to be, part of a good organization post your college, so maybe you want to land into a good internship or maybe a good job, so this is a place for you guys. You can get your college projects reviewed. Okay, so and then if you have any questions regarding your college projects, any issues, anywhere you're stuck, any problems, if you want to change your problem statement, any documentation related issues, right? So this is a place for you guys. You can get the issues sorted, and Mr. Raj Vikramaditya is there for you, so he can take up the questions, and then definitely you can talk regarding that. And again, it's part of a developer subscription, guys, and for this $999, but the code Python 10 gonna give you for $899. So you have again a Code Chef show which is going live every Saturday afternoon at 2 p.m. which I was talking about. So it's taken care by Mr. Sai Avinash. He is an SDE from Google, and he is a 7-star at Code Chef. Okay, so you can just imagine. So he's the right guy for you for answering all the right questions regarding the Code Chef, the do's and the don'ts, how to prepare, what to prepare, from where to prepare, right? So, so he's going live every Saturday afternoon at 2 p.m. and he's the guy for you for all your Code Chef related questions. Right, this so official channel, guys, Telegram official channel, so please do join this. There's a one place stop where we'll be getting all the live updates, all the classes, all the upcoming videos, shows, right? So there's a one place stop, we'll be getting all the details. Okay, do not forget to like and share and subscribe if you feel like, because if you're feeling benefited, you should be also motivating us. But if you don't feel like, nobody is going to beg you for that. Always feel free. So if you feel like you're getting benefited, do not forget to like and share. Right, so we are into our content class. So it's a master class for you, right? So we are towards the data science part of Python. So we are covering Pandas in this lecture. So Pandas is more towards the data science library. So it's a library, it's one odd library, it's not data science completely. So Pandas is just a one odd library, and it has some good functionalities, good functions available within for your analysis, cleaning, storing, manipulating, visualizing, a lot of things, right? So a lot of things which you can do with Pandas. So some of the functions which we've observed that most frequently used, right? So you can absolutely use it from Pandas and then used in your day-to-day work. That's how we have been seeing. So we have done a lot of things on series and data frames. So now today we are sitting at strings. So we have understood some of the concepts of strings, right? So I'm just gonna quickly jump to our notebook. So remember, guys, so we were talking about strings today, right? So we're gonna finish the strings quickly within 10-15 minutes, and then we're gonna jump to the exercises. I understand that you guys want to do the exercises. We'll do that. But again, let's quickly finish this first and then jump towards that. Okay, cool. So that's how it is, right? So we have certain good functionalities. So we have talked about lowercase, we have talked about uppercase. So it's very simple. So lowercase and uppercase, it converts the strings from lower to the upper nomenclature. So you know this. So upper, all the upper caps, and the lower is the lowercase, right? So this is how it is doing. Length, we have seen length is if you pass length on a series object, you understand that then it'll count the number of elements the series or the collection object has. But if you pass it over a particular string, then definitely you'll be getting the number of characters, right? So if I pass it over the entire S, which is my series collection object, it is returning the number of elements. But when I passed it over a particular element of my series, then it will be counting the number of characters it has. Always remember, it will still count the spaces, it will still count the special characters and all that, because it is part of my quotes. Okay, it's part of my quotes. is still important. Okay. Cool. Strip, you've seen this. Strip is a very good functionality to remove the white spaces from only both the sides. Okay, it will not remove the spacing within your strings, because in this you can see this. I have a spacing at the end which is unwanted. I have a spacing within the two strings. This is wanted. I do not want this to be removed, right? So that's where strip comes in. So strip, if you just pass strip over your overall string, right? You can see this. So this Arpit Jain had initially 11 characters. So 5 Arpit, Jain 4, so 9, plus this one string, this space 10, plus this unwanted space 11. So I have 11 spaces, 11 characters here, right? So when I pass it over strip, it removed the only unwanted one, not the wanted one. Okay, so I have 10 now, and the Arpit Jain looks still the simple. Same. Okay, cool. That's how strip works. Now I have a very good functionality, guys. Split. I'll talk about split. Okay, so split क्या करता है? Split it's actually splits your string into two halves. Split क्या करता है? Split is like splitting. You're dividing into some chunks, right? Smaller chunks. So splitting क्या करता है? Splitting always splits your string, splits your data into smaller chunks. Okay. So let's try to do it one by one. So let's try to see how the splitting works. Okay, so अभी मेरे पास suppose ये particular string है Arpit Jain, ठीक है, or whatever it is. So I'm gonna do, first of all I'm going to run split here on the entire string. ठीक है, अभी मेरे पास अभी और जो split के अंदर क्या होता है? Split के अंदर we pass a particular pattern based on which we want to split the data. ठीक है, split में क्या होता है? Because we want to pass the characteristics, right? अब सपोज आई वॉन्ट टू स्प्लिट बेस्ड ऑन दिस स्पेस. सो स्पेस पास करूंगा तो उस पर ऑब्जेक्ट क्या है? एक ये सिंगल एंटिटी अर्पित आएगी, एंड देन आई हैव अ सिंगल एंटिटी जैन, राइट? सो बेसिकली टू डिफरेंट स्ट्रिंग्स आई विल बी गेटिंग, राइट? एंड लाइकवाइज I can split into split based on any character. So I have a special character at the rate here, right? I can split based on at the rate also. Okay. So whatever particular pattern I want to split on, I have to pass it under the parenthesis. And so if I have given a space, an empty space, that is based on like on spacings. Okay. Suppose I'm running on S1. Cool. अभी मैं इसको यहाँ से हटा देता हूँ. Then let me show it to you this first. ठीक है. Now can you see this, guys? So what I've done is I'm splitting the entire string based on what? Based on my space. So I'm given a identifier as space here, right? So what it has done, the important thing to notice here, guys, how the output is. So first of all, did you notice the output has by default converted into a list of my elements? Hello Sandeep, thank you for joining in. Any questions? Please put up your questions, Sandeep, so we are all ears. Okay, so did you notice the split is actually giving the list of my outputs here, right? So list, it's always important. Series split split object always returns a list of split objects. ठीक है, always remember this. So split का output हमेशा list में होता है, always हमेशा list में होता है. ठीक है, अभी हमारे पास ये एक string था, right? अब ये string जो है list of strings में convert हो गया. ठीक है, अब देखो अर्पित के अंदर तो कहीं space नहीं है, there is no space within this Arpit, right? So the only element within my list is a single element Arpit, because I do not, it cannot be split further. It did not have any space, right? But here in this Arpit Jain, there is one split, there is one space. If I do a split here, so it will be giving into two different elements. So Arpit is my first element and Jain is my second element of the list, right? So this single string has been converted into a list of two elements, Arpit and Jain, right? Likewise कहीं और स्पेसिंग नहीं है तो कहीं मेरे को डिफरेंट ऑब्जेक्ट्स नहीं मिला. ठीक है, अभी हम सेम चीज S2 पे रन करते हैं. ठीक है, S2 में मेरे पास अनवांटेड स्पेसेस है, यहाँ पे अनवांटेड स्पेसेस है ना, हर जगह स्पेसेस है. अब S2 पे रन करते हैं. लेट्स सी दैट. ये दिखा आपको? S2 में जहाँ पे मेरे पास अनवांटेड स्पेसेस है, उसने उसको भी इट हैज टेकन इट एज अ कैरेक्टर्स, बिकॉज दैट्स हाउ आई एम गिविंग इट एज एन स्पेस, राइट? सो स्पेस में in this Arpit, can you notice I have a spacing here, ठीक है, sorry, my bad. I have a spacing here. So my first element is an empty string. There's nothing here. It's just a space, but there's nothing there, right? So it has written a comma. It has written two elements. So it has an empty, just a empty list, and then empty element in the list. And then I have another element, second element as Arpit. So this simple string has now been converted into a list of two elements, where the first is an empty value and the second is Arpit. Clear? Any questions, guys? Any questions here? Do feel free to put up a question. It's an important concept. Okay. Similarly, अगर आप second element में देखोगे, so we have Arpit Jain. So we have two spaces here now. This and this, right? I have not stripped it now. I have just used it on the raw data. So in this case, it has given me three elements because आपके पास तीन एलिमेंट हो जाएंगे ना. फर्स्ट अर्पित होगा, सेकंड आपके पास ये स्पेसिंग के बाद आपके पास जैन है, और इस थर्ड स्पेसिंग के बाद आपके पास कुछ भी नहीं है, तो ये एम्प्टी हो जाएगा यहाँ पे, है ना. तो we will having three elements. So it's again, it has, this single string has now been converted into a list of three elements where the splitting criteria is space. ठीक है. कोई इशू है यहाँ पे? आपको किसी को भी कोई इशू है? ठीक है. अभी हम थोड़ा सा एक सिंपल स्ट्रिंग पे काम करते हैं. ठीक है, विल डू दिस. Yes, empty space will be an element here, Sandeep. This is what you have seen, right? So can you see this? This single Arpit, where I have a space and the beginning, right? And when I have done a split on the base on space, so this space has returned two elements now. So this list of string has two elements, where Arpit is the second element, okay? And the first element is just an empty string, empty character. Yes, empty space will be an element here. Okay. Good question, Sandeep. Yeah, it's good concept to know. ठीक है. Now I have a string here. ठीक है. मेरे पास string है. My name is Arpit Jain. Okay. Can somebody tell me if I do a string of split and if I do a length of on top of this? Can you tell me what will happen? How many characters will be there? Can you tell me what will be the answer of this? Quickly, guys, what will be the output of this command on my IDE? Quickly, guys, I think again I'm seeing a lag of almost 20 to 30 seconds, guys. So if you see me mute for some time, do not get confused. I'm still around. Okay, so it's just a network lag of 20 to 30 seconds. Quickly, guys, responses on your chat. What will be the output here? Can you see this? Now I have a string here. My name is Arpit Jain. Okay, so I am splitting the data based on my spacings. ठीक है. So I'm splitting the data based on my spacing. So spacings कहाँ पे है? First spacing is here. So it will return in this my and then the entire character second. Now the second splitting is here. So it will again convert this name and then into is. So likewise, wherever I'll be having my spaces, it will be splitting into that particular different strings, list of elements in my strings. ठीक है. So that's where I have 5 elements here. Now the second question for you. Same thing. I have the same element here. So I have a string which is called my name is Arpit Jain dot I live in India. Okay, this is my string now. So now I'm splitting not based on the spaces. I'm splitting based on the comma, based on the dot. Okay, so I'm based on the dot here. Okay, always remember this. So okay, now can somebody tell me what will be the output here if I do the same thing, length of this split here? quickly guys. Thank you Dilip, thank you Sandeep for your responses here, and I would be expecting you to do for the second one as well. Cool, let me show it to you. No Sandeep, so we'll have two strings here. Let me print it to you. Right, so now it is based on this dot, right? So whatever is behind this dot, that will be my first string, and whatever is after my dot, that will be my second string. So it cannot have one, it will be having two strings. Always remember that. And also, did you notice we have an empty character here, I, because after dot I have an space here. So this space is also been captured here. Can you see this? So the highlighted space which I'm saying here. So it is just taking based on the dot. So anything before dot will be my first element of my list, and anything after my dot, even this space is a character after my dot, right? So this has been captured here. So this will be my second string. So the output of the length of here would be 2, not 1. Sandeep, is that point clear? Cool. ठीक है. Now we have another very good functionality available, which is cat. ठीक है. Cat क्या करता है? It concatenates the elements with given separator. रन करके देखते हैं एक बार. ठीक है, पहले मैं काम करता हूँ. Let me print s2 first and then print the concat. ठीक है. अब इसमें क्या हो रहा है? वी आर कॉन्कैटिनेटिंग द एलिमेंट्स ऑफ माई कलेक्शन ऑब्जेक्ट विद अ सेपरेटर वॉट एवर आई वॉन्ट. ठीक है, अब ये मेरा पूरा एलिमेंट्स था, अर्पित जैन, रोहित एंड ऑल दैट, राइट. अभी हमने जब कैट ऐड किया, आई एम कॉन्कैटिनेटिंग द एलिमेंट्स हियर. सो इन दिस केस आई एम एडिंग अ सेपरेटर ऑफ एट द रेट, राइट. सो कैन यू सी दिस? अर्पित एट द रेट अर्पित जैन, देन आई हैव एट द रेट रोहित. सो I am doing on S2, so S2 के आगे मेरे पास यहाँ पे spacings है, so that is the reason why I have a spacing here. And then रोहित से पहले भी एक space है, so I am getting a spacing here. So if I do it on S1, let's do it like this. If I do it on S1, so it will be like this: Arpit at the rate Arpit Jain at the rate Rohit. So we are just concatenating the elements with a separator. I can give any separator here. I can give, say, say pipes, 3 pipes. So 3 pipes will be given here, right? Like this. So all the elements will be concatenated based on the separator whatever I am giving. ठीक है, simple है, ये तो कुछ tricky नहीं है इसमें. The next function is contains. Okay, contains basically कहता है if a particular string contains that particular argument which we are passing under the contains function, it will return as true, else return as false. ठीक है, एक बार try कर लेते हैं. Let's do this. So आपके पास मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ? कंटेन्स एट द रेट. सो एट द रेट क्या? एट द रेट इस वाले एलिमेंट में दिख रहा है आपको, राइट? बाकी सब में तो एलिमेंट में एट द रेट नहीं है. लेट्स डू दिस. इफ आई रन इट, सो विल रिटर्न फॉल्स 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 फॉर दीज 3 एलिमेंट्स वेयर आई डोंट हैव एट द रेट, बट इट रिटर्न्स ट्रू फॉर द 4th एलिमेंट वेयर आई हैव एट द रेट. ठीक है. अब सिमिलरली अगर मैं S2 पे रन करता हूँ फॉर अ स्पेस, it will return true for it has an empty space on S2, and then empty space, it has a space here and here both, and then it has space here it has a space here, it does not, it is an empty data anyway, and then it does not have any space, it does not have any space, right? So I can give whatever argument I want to pass, and then it will return true and false if it is contained in the elements. Okay, that's the functionality of contains. Clear guys? अब next है हमारे पास replace. Replace is again a very good function. So replace में क्या होता है? Suppose a particular character in the element, a character of the element you want to replace with something else, right? So we have something called as this replace. Replace में दो argument जाता है. So the first, so 2 arguments. ठीक है? First में जाएगा मेरा existing, and the second में जाएगा replaced. So existing जो आपको pattern को replace करना है, और replace में जिससे replace करना है, from what you want to replace to. So that's what the replace takes. ठीक है? Now let's run it. So what I'm doing here is I'm replacing the first string wherever I have at the rate to be replaced with a $. Let's run it. Can you see? See, जहाँ पे नहीं है वहाँ पे वो काम नहीं करेगा, because it does not have it. And it will not give you an error, because it will not say an error that you don't have an at the rate here, so it will not run. So it will still run, it won't do anything, okay? And it will run only where that special or whatever character, whatever replacement pattern we have given, and it will replace it with the things what it is expected it to replace, right? So the second argument. So we have replaced it here, so we have a $sign here. Cool guys, and that's how replace works. ठीक है? And now I have something called as repeat. Repeat is a good function again. So repeat तो मतलब एक just a basic thing है, but I will just run it and show it to you. So repeat क्या करेगा? So okay. So Shubham says how to use replace with map function. Good question. So map again क्या करता है? Map again आपके सारे map you are transforming the entire collection elements, right? So if you want to use, because see again map you're using it in top of your lambda generally, right? Or if you want to map it on the string also, you're doing the element or you're doing the access wise operation, right? So first of all इसकी objective क्या मैं वो समझ लेता हूँ. So if we simply use replace, right? So replace it'll do element wise operation again, and map क्या करता है? It'll do an iteration. Comparatively, if we talk about computation speed, Shubham, so it'll be always faster. So if you use map over on top of your replace, so it'll always works. Map क्या? Map again 2 arguments expect करता है. Map expects 2 argument, right? So it expects your function and it expects your collection object, right? This is what it expects. So map के अंदर function आप कुछ भी pass कर सकते हो. In this function you can pass what? You can pass the replace as a function. आपकी जो भी replace की command होगी, आप whatever replace you want to do, you can pass this replace as a function on top of map, and this is your collection object. And this collection object can be a series. Sorry, it can be a series, or you can take a list object also. So wherever you want to pass, so this function, the map has two arguments, right? So you can pass replace as a function on top of map, and then your collection object, whatever you want to pass. Okay? So that's how you can use it on map. Cool. I hope that that answered your question. Again, coming back, so repeat again is just nothing but it repeats each element with specific number of times. So generally it depends on what exactly your objective is. So here I have elements Arpit Jain and all that. So you can see if I've written 3 here, so it has repeated twice. No, Shubham, it won't work like that. So in that case, no, it won't work. So you have in the map, you have to pass the function. So it won't take at the rate and $. Likewise, you have to pass because you have to just tell what is the function name. So if the map does not understand at the rate or $, right? So you have to pass reverse as a keyword. Replace as a keyword. So str that replace, or you can apply it over lambda. So you can take df state. So df x of state, and on that dot replace. In that replace you can pass at the rate $, and then pass your collection object, right? So it will not understand by default as at the rate and $. Likewise, you're passing it. It won't work like that. So you have to pass it over. You have to make sure you have to use the keyword replace, because map itself does not have this characteristics of at the rate to $. Conversion. Correct? So replace is needed here, and replace works on top of your element, so on top of your collection object. So replace में आपको either series pass करनी पड़ेगी, either element pass करना पड़ेगा. So you have to pass something on top of replace. So replace an object on top of my collection object, right? है ना? So you have to do it like that. I hope that answered your question, Shubham. Anything else? Yeah, thank you so much. Again, thank you for asking, Shubham. Thank you for asking this question, Shubham. It's always good to talk. Right. Again, coming back, count क्या करता है यार? Count भी simple है. Count में suppose I want to count the number of small a's. Okay. So count the number of small a's. जितने भी जहाँ पे भी small a होंगे वो count करेगा. यहाँ पे एक small a है तो आपको यहाँ पे 1 आ रहा है. बाकी सब में 0 है because कहीं पे भी small a नहीं है. अब सेम चीज़ अगर आप कैपिटल A करते हो अगर, so कैपिटल A में आपको यहाँ पे 1 है, यहाँ पे 2 है ना? So this is very important. So it's the cases are also important. The lower case or the upper case, the cases are important. So these are two different entities in Python, है ना? So for the count, it will return the number of appearances of that particular pattern, whatever you are wanting to count. ठीक है? So that's how count works. ठीक है? And then क्या है मेरे पास, देख लेते हैं. Starts with. Okay, it's a very good function. ठीक है? Starts with क्या होता है? If a particular string or element of my collection object starts with a pattern, so it will print you that. So for example, I'm saying that starts with A. Let's see how the output is. See this? So it will return the boolean value true or false wherever that particular element will be starting with that pattern. Okay, so I can give AR also. So what if I want to say AR? Okay, still, so this element is starting with AR, so it is returning as true. This element is also starting with AR, returning as true. This is not starting with AR, that is why it is false, right? So starts with, it's very clear anyway, right? So whenever there is a particular element starting with a particular pattern, then it will return as true. ठीक है? So that's why it is important. Similarly ends with भी होगा हमारे पास, right? So similarly ends with भी होता है. So same place में अगर if you ends with, so if a pattern is ending with say T, है ना? Then in that case, this is true, this is false because it is ending with N, right? This is ending with T, so I have a true here. So likewise, starts with and ends with work. So it is good, it is useful to find out how the particular element is starting or ending in your collection object, right? So that's how it works. Any question, guys? Please feel free to ask. These are simple functions. So oh my god. So that is the reason why I'm not, I'm just rushing it through. So you have an option to do that. So again a good function, find. So find में क्या होता है? Suppose I have to find a particular element, particular character in the series, in the elements, right? So for example, I want to find out whether A exists. So it's not a whether, it's like it returns the first position of the first occurrence. So suppose I have say A here, right? So is A मेरे पास कहाँ पर है? A I have at first place here, and A I have here I have two places in the first string. So I have at the first character, and also I have at some else characters, right? So this find will return the index position of the first occurrence of that particular pattern. So let's see this. So if I do s1.string.find A, so this A is returning at the 0th index. Okay, so this is my 0th index. This is my 0th index value. Okay, so now here this A is occurring at again the 0th index value. Although I had at some like 7th index, but this will not be printed because the first occurred at A. The first occurred at the 0th index. So that's why I'm having of a 0 value here. Okay. -1, it's a garbage value because I do not have A here. I do not have my capital A here. So this is reading as -1, and nan for, anyway, it's not a number anyway. So that's how find A works. It returns the first position of the first occurrence of the pattern. Okay, so first position, that's what you have to remember. Okay, cool. So that's how find works. Find all, on the other aspect, it returns the list of all the occurrences of the pattern. So जहाँ पर भी होगा वो pattern, वो सब return करके देगा. ठीक है? So अब suppose मैं यहाँ पे, लेकिन इसमें indexing नहीं आती है. इसमें एक problem ये है, इसमें आपको index value पता चल गई, right? You have the index value 0, 0, -1 and all that, right? So for this find all, if I have to pass for find all, it will return the list of occurrences. So basically कितने बार आया है and किस pattern में आया है, will give that. So you can see again the output is in the list. So here the output is basically a list. ठीक है? So list of elements where a list of elements of how many times it has occurred. So that's how you'll be getting here. It's an empty list. So basically यहाँ पर ये present नहीं है. ठीक है? Okay, Shubham has one question. All the ends with and starts with function are case sensitive for A and it will be different or same. Okay, good question, Shubham. Yes, we have already seen this. So ends with and starts with are case sensitive. In fact, all the functions wherever the strings are involved, all the functions in Python are case sensitive. Okay, for me, a string 1 which says say capital A and the string 2 which says small a, they both are different. They are not two similar strings. Okay, so these two strings are different. Case is very important in Python. Okay, so if it is under your string, yes, so then your cases are very important. These are two different strings. So if I do with starts with or whatever function we're gonna pass over these strings, right? So it'll be giving different results. Okay, these two are not two same strings. Thanks for again asking this question, Shubham. Right? Okay, so we have 4 more functionalities. We're gonna quickly cover that. Okay. So now I have something called a swap case. Very good functionality. Let me show it to you. So let me print first S1. Okay, and then now let me print swap case. Okay. So now I have these strings here, Arpit Jain and all that. So now I have did a swap case. Swap case में क्या हुआ? जो lower है वो upper हो जाएगा, जो upper है वो lower हो जाएगा. So lower case will be converted to upper case will be at the same time converted to lower case. You can see this. So this Arpit where A is caps, others are lower, has been now converted to A to lower, others as caps. Similarly for all the other things you can just notice, है ना? So it's like swapping my cases, lower to upper and upper to lower at the same time. ठीक है? And then we have something called as lower. So let me show it to you again. Okay, so it'll return true or false if the particular element is in lower case. Is lower basically I'm checking whether it is lower or not. है ना, lower or not में क्या होगा, true or false में output आएगा. So true or false में I'm saying this if a particular element, so you can see this Arpit is in lower case, so that is the reason why it is giving as true, and this is not in lower case, so I have some caps also, so it will return as false. Okay, so for this the entire element entire string has to be in lower case. Even if one it is in caps, it won't return as true, because you can see this in this row here, only R is caps, still returning as false, right? So the entire string is important. Okay, similarly here मैं upper में check कर लेता हूँ. So now here in this you can see this entire Arpit is in caps, so this is returning as true, but else is false because still although I have some caps here but others are small, right? So it expects the entire string to be either upper or lower. Okay, and then similarly I have something called as numeric. So numeric मतलब string में कोई numeric values है, string मेरा numeric है क्या, मतलब it just check whether the string is numeric or not, because now you can see this. So I have a numeric value here 1 2 3 4, although it is quoted under a strings but still a number, right? So it will identify it as true. So all the other things are false because it is still a string for me, right? So that's how. So is numeric, is upper, is lower, checks for cases and whether the string is numbers or not. Cool guys. So with this we have covered strings concept. You have any questions? We have covered the few functionalities of strings. Any questions? I'm all ears. You can put up your questions. So we have in the next we have something called as Pandas group by. Okay, so we're not going to talk group by in the next session. So we're not there. So if you're okay, we can jump with some exercises. Okay, so we can do some quick exercises. We have been doing some good ones. So we did something on this mean value yesterday, if I remember correctly. Cool. So let's now quickly solve some of the odd questions. We can do that. We have time. Cool guys. So let's jump to the questions and try to solve this. Okay, so I'm again creating the same data frame for you guys. So you have your first question right in front of you. Okay, so this is your data frame. So data frame I have 4 columns: name, age, salary, designation. Same data frame जिस पे हमने कुछ questions already किए हुए हैं, right? And I have 6 indexes here. So we have 6 row indexes. Okay, so 6 values basically, right? So now your question is, I want you have to give me the mean age of people who are not engineers. Okay, so you have to print the mean age of people who are not engineers. Quickly guys, this is a very simple question. Go ahead. Okay, so str is necessary Sandeep if you are passing the entire collection element. So आपने देखा था series हमने pass किया था. I have a series S जिसके अंदर मेरे पास I had 6 to 7 elements, right? So if I'm passing the collection, the series element, right, and on that series element I want to apply some string functionality, then in that case str as a keyword is important. So s dot str dot function. But if you are using any specific element of that series, suppose you are specific using on Arpit, the first element Arpit, so that is not a series element, right? That's just a string element. So on that str is not required. So in fact I'll just show it to you. So suppose I have this, right? So I have this lower function, right? So I'm passing this lower function on top of my series, which is a series object, right? So in this case I have to pass str. Okay, so this only work as str. But suppose if I want to do it only on this element of my series, so this will be like what? S of 0, right? So S of 0 ke under I'm not going to write str dot lower because it's anyway an str object, right? So in this case I have to use it using directly lower, it'll work. Okay, so that's the difference. I'm passing it over a string or over a series object, over a collection object, then you have to use str as a keyword. But if it's a single element, then your direct functionality will work. Cool guys? Thank you for asking this question again, Sandeep. I hope that clarified your point. Okay, so we have a response from Shubham on the question. Great Shubham, thank you so much for being so active. So he said where df of designation is not equal to engineer and then of age and then dot of mean. Perfect. Why not? Yes, we can do that. We will see this. Anybody else has any response apart from Shubham? Sandeep, anybody else is part of the chat today? Dilip? Anybody else wants to try, guys? Again, I'm seeing a network lag of almost 20 to 30 seconds. Okay, please bear with me if you see me mute for some time. I'm still around. Okay, meanwhile others are responding. Let's quickly check this. Okay, what Shubham has given us an answer. Okay, so right, Shubham has said that we can do a filter. And in this, so basically filter में क्या करना चाहते हैं हम, where the designation is not equal to not engineers, right? So not कैसे जाते हैं, exclamation equal to, definitely very good Shubham. So we're going to do that. So designation, so that's my column, so that's how I'm going to infer the columns, right? And then exclamation mark equal to, that is basically not equal to, right? In this I'm going to write engineers. Okay, so this is my filtration criteria, right? And now I have to pass it on top of my data frame because this data frame के ऊपर ही I want to pass this, right? So this is how I will be getting it. So first पहले देखते हैं इसमें क्या result आता है, ठीक है? ये क्या हो गया यार? Why specific it's not working? Let me show. Let me just run it again. Kernel. Import pandas कर लेता हूँ यहाँ पे SPD. Venkatesh, not understanding क्या not understanding यार, please बता दो what is the issue, what exactly you're not understanding, will clear that. Sorry, engineers कर दिया है मैंने. Okay, sorry, engineer. ठीक है. Venkatesh, please elaborate your question. We're going to do that. If you have any specific issue, we definitely repeat it. Right, so ठीक है, we have thank you so much Shubham. Yeah, I just noticed we have an extra S in engineers. ठीक है, so df designation not equal to engineer. ठीक है, अब now I have the points here. So now the thing is, on this I want to access my age column. Age column हम ऐसे access कर सकते हैं. आपको एज निकल के आ गया यहाँ पे, है ना। अब इस एज के ऊपर आपको मीन रन करना है, मीन रन कर लो। कोई क्वेश्चन इसमें गाइस, कोई भी क्वेश्चन इसमें? इनफैक्ट आप इसको, वी हैव एन ऑप्शन ऑफ राउंड ऑल्सो, ठीक है, राउंड भी कर सकते हो। राउंड एक इनबिल्ट फंक्शनैलिटी है, सो आपको, बिकॉज किसी की एज 32.33 तो नहीं हो सकती, है ना, हम एक राउंड फिगर में भी ले सकते हैं, इंटीजर वैल्यू हो जाएगी, तो राउंड फंक्शन जो होता है इट विल गिव यू द इंटीजर वैल्यू, ठीक है। सो दैट्स हाउ वी कैन डू इट। एनी क्वेश्चंस? इट्स वेरी सिंपल क्वेश्चन, राइट, वेरी सिंपल क्वेश्चन। Venkatesh, I'm still expecting your response. Please tell me what exactly the issue is. We can repeat it. Do not hesitate to ask your questions. No question is wrong. ठीक है, next question करते हैं guys quickly. So yeah, good question. So again the same data frame है, data frame same ही रखते हैं. We have a data frame same here. ठीक है. The question is, so I want to create two buckets of employees. Okay, so two buckets of employees where the high and the low paid people are there. Okay, so basically I want to create a new column. Okay, and this new column का नाम आप कुछ भी दे दो. So I mean say new column से pay something like, ठीक है. In this में in this you have to give high or low if my salary is greater than 100,000, okay, based on this criteria. And then on top of this you have to calculate the difference of mean. So basically high का जो mean salary होगा and low का जो mean salary होगा, you have to calculate the mean of your salaries. Can I do that? Is the question clear? Go ahead guys, quickly. Meanwhile, Venkatesh, I'm still expecting your question. What exactly you're not able to understand? You're not able to understand entire thing. Then it's really tricky. If you have anything specific which you feel like you have a question on, please feel free to ask as others are asking. Quickly, guys, we can do this. It's simple. Okay, let's try to do it meanwhile people are doing it. So we have a DF here, so we'll try to solve it simple way. Okay, so first we have to create what? We have to create a new column, new pay. So say pay, we're gonna do that. So df dot, कैसे भी कर सकते हैं, there are multiple ways of doing it, so I'm gonna still use the logic which we have understood. So we're gonna use it through apply. Okay, then we're gonna use it to lambda x of say what is the value. So pay is high. Okay, so I'm gonna put it as high if x of salary is greater than or equal to 100,000 else low. ठीक है, and now I'm saying x is equal to 1. इसमें कोई किसी को कोई भी इशू है इस वाले कमांड में तो प्लीज़ डू लेट मी नो. वी ऑलरेडी सीन दिस. ठीक है, सो हमने यहाँ पे एक पे कॉलम क्रिएट कर दिया, हाई लो where the salary is based on the logic. So we have created that, है ना? Yeah, Shubham, thank you so much. Absolutely, we can do that. So we can use a map also on top of this. We can do that. Great. Thank you so much for doing it. So we have created a new column pay, high and low. ठीक है. Now on this, what I want कि जो high का mean salary है, what is the difference between the salary mean of my high and the pay lows, high and the low pays, right? कैसे निकालेंगे हम? ये हमारा DF है, ठीक है. अब हमको क्या करना है? DF ऑफ सबसे पहले क्राइटेरिया क्या है? पे है ना, पे. तो पे क्राइटेरिया है, पे इज इक्वल टू व्हाट? हाई, ठीक है. एंड आई एम रनिंग दिस ऑन टॉप ऑफ माई व्हाट? DF. सो दिस इज माई DF. सो ये मेरा DF निकल करके आया हाई का, ये पता चल गया आपको. अब इसकी सैलरी का मीन चाहिए आपको, तो इसके सैलरी को ले लेते हैं एंड देन इसके मीन को ले लेते हैं, ठीक है. ये मेरा फर्स्ट पार्ट आया है ना, DF ऑफ सैलरी ऑफ हाई इक्वल टू मीन, करेक्ट. अब सेम अगर आपको लो का लेना है, सेम कॉपी कर लेते हैं एंड देन यहाँ पर आपको लो का मीन आ जाएगा, इसमें किसी को कोई डाउट नहीं है ना. अब इसको हम चाहे तो यहाँ से डायरेक्ट भी कर सकते हैं. सपोज मेरे को अगर सेम प्लेस में ही करना है तो आई कैन डू दिस एज दिस माइनस दिस, तो मेरे को आंसर आ जाएगा. ये मेरा मीन वैल्यू, डिफरेंस ऑफ मीन्स ऑफ द सैलरी है ना. और एल्स मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ यहाँ पे? आई कैन डू इट एज से टू मेक इट एज सिंपल, हाई पे मीन है ना. ये मैंने ऐसे कर दिया, इसको की वैल्यू साइन कर दी, फिर मैंने यहाँ पे इसको कर दिया लो पे मीन एंड यहाँ पे मैंने कर दिया डिफरेंस मीन इक्वल टू हाई पे यार हाई पे मीन माइनस लो पे मीन, और मैंने यहाँ पे डिफरेंस ऑफ मीन को प्रिंट कर दिया. रन नहीं किया मैंने, ठीक है. ये आ गया. एनीथिंग इज फाइन गाइस. Yeah, thank you so much, Shubham. I just saw your response on the chat. Great. Yes, absolutely. Yes, I think Shubham has given us the answers. Absolutely, we can do it with map also. We can create the new column, high, low, and then we can create the means, and then for the low, for high and low, and then we create the differences, right? Cool, guys. Any issues in this? We are doing the same basic concepts, guys. Same basic concepts, but again, once we start doing the codes, right? Then in that case it becomes little trickier to grasp it. Okay, so that is the reason why I'm saying it is always good to ask questions, is always good to practice. If you won't practice, you will not understand the concepts, right. So with this, we are pretty much done for the day, guys. If you have any questions, any last moment questions, please feel free to ask, or else we can wind up for the day and we can meet tomorrow at 7 p.m. Okay, so 7 p.m. we're gonna meet tomorrow, and then we're gonna do a lot of hands-on exercises. Okay, so whatever you feel like. So we're gonna do some exercises from tomorrow onwards for the this entire week, coming entire week. So we're gonna have a lot of questions to be answered. Okay, so we're gonna do a lot of exercises. Cool, guys. I hope it's pretty much okay for you. Any last moment questions before we wrap up for the day? And if not, that I'm gonna give your weekend back, guys. I wish you all a very good very good day, right? And then have a good weekend. And let's see tomorrow at 7 p.m. and we'll do some exercises from tomorrow on for the next week. Thank you, Shubham, for being so active, and it was really a pleasure talking with you again. Let's see you tomorrow at 7 p.m.